Binge watch and learn on TRS Clips. What's happening in West Pakistan, now Pakistan, post 71 war?
So Bhutto took over.
Okay.
He came back from New York where he had gone to in the UN General Assembly. He came back, took over as Chief Martial Law Administrator, and then he carried on. Then 77 elections took place. He rigged them badly. Zia threw him out, staged a coup, and then Zia's martial law of 11 years, something like that.
Give some context on Zia.
So Zia was way down the list of pecking order of the senior-most lieutenant generals. And Bhutto picked him up because he thought he'd be pliant. Zia used to be very obsequious.
Oh, that's too big a word.
I mean, he was very servile. He was very, whenever Bhutto would visit him, he would
Submissive.
very submissive, telling Bhutto all kinds of things and all that. And there were some fascinating stories which I mentioned in my book. Bhutto used to refer to Zia as my monkey general. He used to call him Bandar. Oh, Bandar idhar aa, in front of foreigners. And Zia never retorted. But he kept all this in his mind. I thought,
Ek din dikhaunga.
let the time come, I will show him.
Okay.
So, and there were other ways why he would. So he was commanding in Multan. The field firing took place. So Bhutto came on a visit, and he aimed the gun at a particular target and asked Bhutto. But he had spread that whole area with kerosene and petrol, so that as soon as the shell came anywhere near, the whole thing would blow up, and Bhutto will feel good about himself. Bhutto really thought that this man is very submissive. तो इसको मैं army chief बना दूंगा, ये कहाँ जाएगा? He'll be. But when he became chief, and there was this big PNA agitation, Pakistan National Alliance agitation, because Bhutto had rigged the 77 elections very badly. He didn't need to, but he really rigged them. So this protest demonstration started against him.
Bhutto was turning into a dictator.
Yeah, he was very authoritarian man, very, very authoritarian.
And this is a reflection of his own character, or was it a response to what's happening in India?
No, his own character.
Okay, all right.
You see, he's a very complex man, Bhutto. And one of the reasons for this was that his mother was a Hindu. Shahnawaz, his father, had married a Hindu dancing girl from Rajasthan, Lakhi Bai. And later on, she converted to Islam, became Khurshid. But Bhutto always carried this complex. And therefore, he had to be much more aggressive. And his mother was not treated well by Shahnawaz. Shahnawaz was an aristocrat, he was a huge landlord. His family did not treat Lakhi Bai well, and Bhutto saw this. And then he too did not treat his mother well. So she actually cursed him. She told another politician, Sumro, his wife, that he's troubled me so much that he will come to a sticky end. That's all documented. Again, I mentioned in my book.
This is some film level shit. But anyway, go on.
So there was one politician, he was very arrogant. He would brutal with people who opposed him, except for one politician, Jam Sadiq Ali, who was the Sindhi politician. It's a very interesting narrative. So one day, Bhutto was sitting and Jam Sadiq Ali walked past him. So Bhutto said, no salam, because he didn't wish him or salam like that. He said, your father used to sit on the floor in my father's kacheri. So Jam Sadiq Ali was not a guy to take it lying down. So he turned around and said, yes, because that was the best seat in the house to see Lakhi Bai dance.
Oh.
Bhutto was shocked. That's the only time he didn't react. He couldn't react. He didn't know what to do. And let Jam Sadiq live. Any other people who sort of rubbed him the wrong way, brutal with him. So because of his arrogance, he rigged this election, and this Pakistan National Alliance, they got together. Massive agitation took place. And agitation took place in Lahore. And there when the army, Bhutto requested for the army's help, and there when the army was asked to fire on this crowd, 3 brigadiers refused to fire. And that's when Zia, I think, realized that the integrity of the army is going to be, if people start not firing or not obeying orders, then something needs to be done. I think that's when he acted and he arrested Bhutto and things like that.
Expand this moment, this chapter.
Yeah, so he got the whole cabinet arrested.
Okay.
So when the coup was going to be carried out, his one of his chief of staff, I forget his name, and he was going to arrest various politicians. And Zia was still nervous because, he said, Murshid marwa mat dena. Don't get me killed because of this coup. So in any case, the coup happened. All these people were arrested. And again, there was a time when he said he would leave Bhutto and Bhutto could come into politics. But Bhutto was not willing to compromise. He said, I'm going to fix Zia. So one politician, crafty politicians told Zia, एक कबर है और दो लाशें हैं. If you don't put Bhutto in, you are going in. I think that's when Zia got the hint that, Bhutto has to be hanged. Otherwise, it'll be his turn. He'll go for the gallows.
What panned out?
Zia hung Bhutto. It was judicially, proved. So there was an old case which was revived. One of the politicians had been shot at, and the real target missed, and the guy's father was killed. And so that was resuscitated, it was pulled up. And the judgment was that Bhutto was responsible and he was hanged.
Why would someone want to willingly become a politician in Pakistan? Seriously. Like, even this whole Imran Khan thing, you hear about how he's shot in the leg and all that. How this.
Shehbaz Sharif, who just demitted office, is probably the only prime minister who got a farewell when he left office. All other prime ministers have either been hung, arrested, or booted out. He got a farewell.
Why?
So to answer your question, why would a politician want to be a politician in Pakistan? Because they can do what they want. The army keeps tabs on them. They feel that if they have a good relationship with the army, they can survive. Businesses, look at the way the businesses, people who have got into politics, the way the businesses, the kind of money they have made and influence they have got is because of very little of accountability.
So it comes from a place of lusting for power and money at the cost of you kind of being submissive towards the army. As in, that's the cost, that's the price you pay.
That's the price you pay, except Imran Khan did not want to pay the price. He thought he was larger than the army. He thought he was larger than the state. The kind of cult figure that he developed and the way the people brought him up, he's some kind of a demigod.
So TRS Clips has all sorts of videos and all sorts of playlists. Make sure you explore the channel by subscribing and heading to our homepage and reading through all the playlists. Happens through curiosity.